Okay. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to today's meeting. Please note this will be a live broadcast meeting. We're available to view on the Combined Authority YouTube channel. Just please ensure that your microphones are on when speaking. Item 1 is apologies for absence. Are there any apologies, Elizabeth?
None from the members. We've had apologies from Mike Russell and Ian Floyd.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Anyone? No, thank you. Item 2 is the minutes of the meeting held on the 6th of June. This is agenda item 2, minutes held on the 6th of June. Are members content that the minutes are correct record of this meeting? Thank you. No, all nods, yeah. Thank you, yep. All happy with that, thank you. Item 3 is declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest that anyone would like to raise? No, happy, okay, thank you. Item 4 is public participation. I'm not aware of any. Are there any, Elizabeth or Rachel? Yep. No. Thank you very much. Okay, agenda item 5 is update from myself. So just a rough sort of a few paragraphs of what we've been up to. So in last month, earlier this month, sorry. Yeah, we're still in June, aren't we? We had over 200 delegates to the first Yorkshire North Yorkshire's Net Zero Conference, which was incredibly well received, and a great collection of people right for all different sectors and community groups who came in attendance and shared their passions and excitement around what we're trying to do around net zero in the region. I visited Settle to hear the impacts, particularly around community-owned projects. So the Settle swimming pool in particular, and the work they're doing there around involving the communities and the community ownership and involvement in the investing and keeping that investment in local communities. We also saw the spending review on obviously great investment into NHS, the schools, public sector particularly, and funding increase for local authorities, and given that long-term financial settlement will hopefully give some certainty. We welcome we are included in the Yorkshire North Yorkshire as a bus franchising pilot. I believe it's one of 3 areas that have been given that. And we're currently working with the Department for Transport to really iron out what that fully means, but it's a very exciting opportunity for us. And obviously maintain of the £3 bus fare cap, supporting people across Yorkshire and North Yorkshire, particularly in our rural communities. That is incredibly well received. And the commitment to establish the government's hub at York Central, securing the 2,500 jobs at the heart of the region's biggest urban regeneration scheme, is a great investment and commitment to the City of York, which is great. And we're still working on the further details around, say, the bus funding, which we'll be finding out in the next week or so. So that's from me. Item 6 is the Mayoral, Active Travel Fund, which is a report from the Director of Economy, Andy Kerr. I believe Mike is going to speak on this. So thank you, Mike. If I can hand over, I'll just do a little bit. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry.
No, just ask for a bit of clarification. Use your mic, please.
You use your mic, sorry, Karen.
Sorry, you did remind us. Can I just ask for a bit of clarification? There's a bit of noise going on outside, but did you allude to in your statement the funding increase as a result, have I got this right, as a result of the CSR funding review for local authorities? Was that what you were focusing on at one point?
No, so I must have misspoke. It's the
no, you maybe didn't.
For our no, it might be for me. I think I'm sorry. I meant our funding for our long-term settlement. So we understand now we've got over the next 4 years for our transport settlement for the
in terms of the mayoral combined authority.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to be clear.
Yeah.
As far as local authorities are concerned, the funding review has been, or as all the hallmarks have been, disastrous for North Yorkshire. Certainly, I can't speak on behalf of City of York. Whilst we've had 3 years already, intend to give us a 3-year settlement, it's no good having a 3-year settlement if that settlement takes us through the floor. So I wanted to be clear publicly that this is not, in terms of local authority funding, and you will agree, I'm sure, that you need strong local authorities underneath the mayoral combined authority to deliver many of your objectives, our shared objectives. And that looks unlikely as a result of both the CSR and the funding review. I wanted that on record.
No, that's fine. Yeah, sorry, I misspoke. I meant the long-term.
No,
settlement that
you
we've got
probably
charged.
didn't
No, no, I think I
misspeak.
did.
I
No,
just
that's fine.
couldn't quite hear.
No, that's fine.
But it gave me an opportunity just to highlight
Yeah.
the challenges we're facing.
Let's go in there. Pete, come in.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. And just to stress, councillor Dabb, that obviously we are in the consultation phase, and I'm sure that you and your authority will make your views known to the government, as indeed will our local authority. And I think we can save the speeches until we get the outcome of that particular consultation.
Thank you, Councillor Kilbane. So item 7 is the Mayoral Active Travel Fund. So I'll just give a slight overview before bringing Mike, if that's okay, Mike. So really sort of sets out my and the CA's ambition and others to have fundamental shift in active travel right across York and North Yorkshire. Want to take a big, say a big thank you to the community groups, particularly for taking the time to feed through their concerns and aspirations and experience of active travel in the region and helping to inform this fund. Really at the heart of this fund, it's about supporting the ecosystem and making walking, wheeling and cycling safer for our streets and safer for everyone who wants to walk, wheel and cycle across the region. Also pleased very much to see the recommendation relating to the appointment of an active travel commissioner who will be tasked with really developing a plan to improve that ecosystem and work with our partners and local authorities to really drive forward and also implement into our local transport plan as an active travel at its heart of it. Ultimately, I want to make sure that our children, our young people particularly, are safe right across York and North Yorkshire and grow up in a region where walking, wheeling, cycling just becomes second nature, and it's very much a part of how we choose to move around the region. So on that, Mike, if I can bring it to you just to expand a little bit more on the report, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Chair. Yeah, so in terms of the paper before us today, this is to assign 4 million from the Mayor Investment Fund to the Mayor's Active Travel Fund that David's spoken about. The actual the process that will sit behind allocating this funding is something that we're working on at the moment, and we'll be bringing that back for further ratification at the September meeting. And I think just to stress some things that this is sort of a big increase in our ability to fund active travel across York and North Yorkshire. We for various reasons we don't do especially well out of active travel England at the moment, and this helps to boost that quite considerably. But we should be clear that while we want a broad range of people to come forward with and groups and whoever else to come forward with ideas for this fund, clearly it's further to local highway authorities to make ultimate decisions about whether these are facilities that they wish to have on their land or on their highways or whatever. So that's really clear that we'll build that into the process. I probably haven't got much more to add at this stage. As you mentioned about the active travel commissioner post, that's something that will that I'll take on my role to recruit. We've got a various number of options to recruit that, but we'll commence that if the recommendation 2 is improved today. We'll commence that as soon as possible. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much for that. Any questions or comments from members? Would you like to come in there?
Thank you.
Douglas?
Thank you, Mayor, and thanks, Mike, for that rundown on the paper. And yeah, we are really happy to see this money coming through that will supplement what we're already spending and committed to active travel in York. And we are well placed in York. We've got a local, I always get this wrong, LC WIP, local cycling and walking investment plan, and local transport strategy, but which is very focused on sustainable methods of transport. It is really important to us, and we are getting on and doing it. We're moving into the first phases of delivery now. But I just would like to say to the people out there who quite rightly will want to work with us to bring forward suggestions. What Mike said about the highways, local highways team, authority, deciding whether they want to have a scheme on their land. It's not really a want or not want it. There is an awful lot of legislation around this area, and everything needs to support each other, and it needs to be a strategic approach to it. So there will need to be some decision making, formalised decision making about whether a scheme is possible within the local highways authority. So I think we just need to be really clear about the complexities of this kind of fund and making sure it really drives improvements and works for everybody, and not leading organisations or the public to think that it is always straightforward in these things. And sometimes the local highways authority, unfortunately, will have to say no if it's not achievable. But we're very much committed to it. We really want to get on with it. So thank you for bringing it forward.
Thank you, Councillor Douglas. Would you like to come in? Gareth?
Thanks. I just concur really with much of what Claire's voiced. It wouldn't be my priority, but I absolutely respect your position wanting to promote this agenda, and we'll do everything we can as a local authority to facilitate that. But it is, you know, I want it on public record, it is somewhat difficult at times for us, given the financial outlook as an authority that we're facing. And as City of York we've got a great long list, as well you will know, of active travel schemes that we can't fund, either capital or revenue. So I very much hope when we get a report back as to how it's going to be deployed, that you'll place great weight on the work that's already been done by the local authorities for achievable schemes that are going to produce tangible outcomes rather than hopeful outcomes. But back to the Active Travel Commissioner, we've had, sorry, is it Mike?
It is.
Mike said that we'll be looking to recruit to that post. Is this a time limited post? Because of course there's 2.5 years to go. And is it an actual post, or is it bought in consultancy? Because I think it's important for us to know. If we've got 2.5 years left in the scheme, by my reckoning, and I wasn't bad at maths at school, that means £80,000 budget per year if there's 2.5 years left. So are we looking at recruiting, or is there a possibility that you'd be just buying in the knowledge? Because if it's the latter, I'm sure that there is knowledge already exists within the local authorities, but that's a judgment you will have to make.
Do you expand on the
Yeah, so I mean, there's no doubt that there's there's no doubt that there's knowledge within the local authorities, absolutely. But what we want to do is supplement that. The term of the post is the remaining term of David's mayoralty, current mayoralty, and it would be for either David or his successor to determine what they want to do after that. In terms of bringing the resource in, yeah, we're looking to bring in somebody with expertise, probably through a consultancy arrangement, in order to satisfy this, and to really build on, as you say, the skills we already have within York and North Yorkshire, and to drive things forward, and hopefully get us up the rankings which Active Travel England put on us, and move up those rankings. That enables us to get more funding again, and also raises the profile of active travel more generally. So yeah.
Just ask again then. So if it's bought in consultancy, how many days a week do you think, or how part-time or full-time do you think 80,000 quid will buy us?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's necessarily the number. We've got to demonstrate what the number is, but I think we're working on the basis of a couple or 3 days a week, something like that. Yeah.
Thank you. Mike, any more questions or comments for Mike there? Okay, so recommendations are on the supplementary back on page 7 on there. Seek a proposer and a seconder for this.
Proposed.
And then a move to vote in all in favour.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mike, for that. Item 7 is the delegation of Mayor's devolved powers for delivering bus services. Again, Interim Director of Economy, Andy Kerber, is going to ask Mike to speak on part of this as well.
Right, apologies there. But this was what, sorry? Oh, the delegation.
Yeah,
Oh,
mate,
yeah. Sorry.
Microphone.
Yeah. Good job. I didn't have the microphone on there. Yeah, thanks, Mayor. So yeah, this is the powers that the Combined Authority, in particular David, possesses through the devolution order on over bus services in York and North Yorkshire, and at the moment those powers are delivered, are delegated back to York City Council, City of York Council, my apologies, and North Yorkshire Council, and this paper seeks to extend that delegation of powers back for a period from today or tomorrow until March 26, the end of March 26. In the meantime, our intention is to undertake a review, and I had it on my screen here, and then I moved it. Paragraph 3.7 of the report sets out some of the questions that review will ask, and will work with officers and members, all of whom have an interest in this, in order to undertake this review and understand what our best way forward is for delivering bus services from April 2026 onwards. So, yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions or comments for Mike on that there?
Thank you.
Councillor,
Just to say, I mean, I welcome the idea that we're going to do the review. We need to get our skates on because it's July tomorrow, and we must have this sort of ready by the turn of the year because we'll get into other considerations early in the new year. I'm pleased to see the bullet point in here about mentioning homeschool transport because that is a complication for North Yorkshire in particular.
thank you, councillors. Would you like to Pete? Councillor Bain?
I would support what Councillor Les says. I think we really do need to crack on with this now because there's a lot of work to do, including many complications in an area like ours, which has both cities and huge rural areas. Between now and end of the year, I guess we're going to need to have that review coming to its final point if we're going to be ready in time for April. So welcome it. I think it is a big challenge. But it is also a very positive time for the region, with being chosen to be one of the areas that's going to look at piloting rural and urban franchising, which I think is going to be even more complicated than bringing the buses under the combined authority. But, you know, the challenges that we've got to rise to, because for many people in our region, the bus is a lifeline. You know, it is the only way of getting from where they live to the places that they want to be, whether that's for work or leisure. So we have to make sure that those people, many of whom can't drive, many of whom would prefer to choose not to drive, which of course is behaviour we want to try and encourage. So the sooner that I think we can get on with this and start delivering a bus service in the region and in the cities that is fit for purpose, the better.
Let's come in there as well.
Thanks. Yeah, I'd just like to also say that I think, as Councillor Kilbane outlined, this is an opportunity for us, and we don't at all underestimate the level of the challenge given the rurality of our region. But and we are the biggest rural and city region in the whole country, but nevertheless there are other parts of the country that have similar problems in different geographies. And so this isn't going to be just a solution or a test of methods that could potentially work in our region. It won't be just for us, it could be applicable in other parts of the country. And let's face it, rural communities all over the country need better public transport. So I think, yeah, we need to find a way of making this work. Not underestimating challenge, it is hard.
I think sorry, we'd like to. I was just going to say, to add into that, the fact that we've been part of the franchising model pilot, with one of the better word, from the government, is a great opportunity to actually showcase that where CAs have been born out of, generally urbanised city centres, and our transport authorities are at Manchester, we are not either of those two things. So to roll out a transport model that's been delivered in a core city region is not what would work in a place like ours. Rural and coastal elements have been left behind massively. I've spoken to many communities who speak about the weekly bus, and that's just not good enough. So having an opportunity to really transform that and actually improve that connectivity, because for many people, as Councillor Kilbane said, that bus is a lifeline for so many people, not just for work, but for education, for social, for community, everything. So how we get this right is absolutely imperative, and using the expertise in both York and North Yorkshire to help us deliver on that will be absolutely key. So did you want to come in there?
Yeah, somebody mentioned the trial over bus franchising. Do we know yet what form that's going to take? Is it a physical trial or is it just a desktop trial? Because I'm a little bit confused, I must confess.
Yeah, sure. So initially, it is a desktop exercise of work, and that's the stage we're at anyway. Of looking at options. You know, we haven't brought any proposals to this committee or to the mayor yet. We're still looking at options and what they could offer us. So the DFT, that they want to support us in doing that and do their own and fund their own pilot studies, working with us and a small handful. A handful of other local authorities like us with rural areas. Where that leads to in terms of implementing, that's something that we'll work with the department to understand and to make sure that we punch our maximum weight in that. But yeah, initially funding for study work.
Okay, because my biggest fear was that we suddenly, you know, and in North Yorkshire, I speak from some experience where we've had to remove subsidies from bus routes at, you know, in some cases £100 per passenger journey, which fetches me on to the next point. And I just urge you, as we all get carried away, and it's easy to, and I can understand why there are some very deep concerns about a lack of connectivity within some of our more rural areas. But please, let's not miss that the financial value as well as social value has got to be there. We could solve all the rural transport problems with 50 or 100 million quid a year in North Yorkshire. Clearly, that's not sustainable nor doable, given, I'm afraid to say, because it comes back to it all the time, which is why I made the point earlier, we need sustainable, financially sustainable local authorities under this MCA, and the challenges that we're facing again in North Yorkshire prevent us from perhaps increasing that subsidy to rural bus services. We haven't got a cat and else chance of doing it.
So, sorry, Mike, and that's why exploring that, what would be best suited to our region, is absolutely key. Why having this bus franchising pilot, you know, exploring what is the right system of having that in our region is absolutely key, because it hasn't done before. And I have your concerns as well, because obviously the cost could be great, but it's exploring what is the best option for our region that is financially sustainable as well. As you said, if you had a blank check, you could go fix anything tomorrow, but we don't have a blank check. So that's why having this model, but also understanding that most CAs coming on now are going to be geographically much more like us as well. So we and government need to find a way of how to deliver transport in a non-core city region as well. I think us being the front and centre of that piece of work is a really exciting opportunity for us, but also, as it's been touched on, exploring what then model could be rolled out nationally to improve transport connectivity everywhere in our rural communities as CAs come on. Would you like to come in there?
Yeah, I mean, I understand Councillor Dadd's cynicism and pessimism on the subject, but, you know, given that buses have been going backwards for the past sort of 15 years, and I think I would like personally to offer some hope to the people of York and North Yorkshire that we have a government now that believes in buses, that is committed to buses, that is putting its money where its mouth is with buses. And so we look forward to a better future for buses. Of course, we'll be judged on our record and what we can deliver, but I'd just like to move away a little bit from the we're all doomed scenario when it comes to buses, because we certainly believe in them and we'll do what we can to make sure that we provide the best service that's fit for purpose for the people of North Yorkshire and York.
Would you like to come back in there, Councillor Dodds?
Yeah, just very quickly. I hear that the government's putting its money where its mouth is. I look forward to that, because whichever way you cut it, to achieve connectivity at the levels that we all aspire to will cost money. And local authorities have not got it. You have it, Mr. Mayor, in terms of your mayoral investment fund. You've got bits of it, but you've got nowhere near the type that would be required to connect every village every day, as some people are demanding. We spoke about a bus turning up, our weekly bus. I represent villages that haven't got a bus and haven't had for 10 or 12 years. But what we do, we backfill it for essential journeys with things like community car schemes and neighbours help out. And that's the way we get through in rural North Yorkshire in many ways. So it's not that I'm being pessimistic or doom mongering, I'm being realistic.
Yeah, and we have an opportunity to really make a difference in those communities. As I say, what model works for us, that's what we'll be finding out. But there's also opportunities to actually implement other options of transport in and around the region, such as walking, wheeling, and cycling, for example, and improving that opportunity there as well. So all in all, I think we're going in the right direction and we can make some sustained quality difference into transport connectivity across York and North Yorkshire, and that's what I'm here to do. Okay, any more questions or comments for anyone else? Are we okay? Recommendations are on page 20 of proposal and a seconder. And move to a vote. Support of. Thank you very much. Thank you. Item 7 done. Item 8 is forward plan. I'll hand over to you, Paul, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, the forward plan for this meeting, it's exactly as submitted in the papers. I don't think there's any need to go through the whole document, but as the next meeting is right in front of us a couple of weeks away, it's probably worth just outlining the business that's coming to the next meeting. There are 5 substantive reports and an information report coming. Substantive reports are local investment in natural capital, approval of the York and North Yorkshire Combined Authority Growth Plan, and 2 separate Mayoral Investment Fund funds, one in relation to men's mental health and another one in relation to movement, activity and sport. In addition, there'll be a governance report as usual. This will be setting out proposed terms of reference for the new Transport Advisory Board and pick up any recommendations that might come out of committees in the meantime. And finally, there will likely be the usual quarterly finance report from the Section 73 officer. I won't go into detail in the future meetings, Chair, but that's where we are for the next meeting.
Thank you very much. Paul, any questions or comments on the forward plan, or are members happy just to note this and happy with everything? Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Paul. And then final item, urgent business. I've got no urgent business. Anyone have anything? No? Okay. So thank you very much. That's the close of the meeting. The next scheduled meeting is on Friday, the 18th of July at 3 p.m. at County Hall in Northallerton. Thank you very much and have a good day.